What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Jake Shavink here, and it's been a little while since we've done a Packers mock draft, probably over a month or so at this point. So it's time to dive back in and do another one here as we are about 3.5 weeks or so from the NFL draft. Should be a lot of fun. So yeah, let's update it here. 7 rounds for you guys using the Pro Football Network mock draft simulator. There is a trade in there, and we'll talk about it as well. Thought this scenario went really well. So yeah, without further ado, I mean, let's dive right in. So let's start here. Pick 29, Tevin Jenkins, the offensive tackle from Oklahoma State. Heck, an athletic tackle. I mean, you saw him test his pro day, really well done. And the Packers obviously do prefer athletes at their positions, so that's something obviously you have to key into with Goody and company. So again, Mauler in the run game, he's a great finisher. Guy will just the guy has no qualms with driving defenders out of the frame, out of the play, into the sideline, wherever he wants to go with it. Great footwork and balance as a pass protector and in the run game. Guy who fires out of his stance, works to the second level pretty well. Pass sets maybe a little bit questionable, but I think they're improving overall in terms of that. And I think you look at him in terms of where he's at developmental wise compared to other tackles in his class. I think he's pro ready. I think you could throw him out there at right tackle. Obviously, Green Bay still shuffling with this offensive line at the moment. Not really sure what's going to happen at the start of the season. Bakhtiari could be out. Do they want Billy Turner starting at right tackle? So Tevin Jenkins can come in, really fill a hole, and really try to stabilize that offensive line as they move into the season. All right, pick 62 here. This would be awesome. This is like the ideal 2-round start for the Packers. O-line and corner. Asante Samuel Jr. lasts this long. That would be incredible. Obviously, it did in this scenario. Doesn't mean it's going to happen on draft day, but we'll see. You never know with the draft. So Asante Samuel Jr., heck of a player here. He's a physical, imposing type player, really physical tackler, great click and close type player, excellent at the catch point, just a feisty player all around. Think he fits perfectly opposite Jair Alexander. And I think he does best in off coverage where he can read quarterback's eyes, work well with his instincts. Just I think that's his best fit. And I think with the Packers, there's not going to be this tight press man type of stuff under Joe Barry. Going to be more relaxed, off coverage, let you make the mistake. And Asante Samuel Jr. and Jair Alexander will make you pay if they are, in fact, the corner duo that starts for the Packers in 2021. Pick 92. A fun one here. If you missed my video on him, definitely check it out. But Amir Smith-Marsett, the wide receiver from Iowa, Pro Football Network, actually, funny enough, mentioned him at the start. But Tony Pauline mentioned the Packers, Bills, and Washington football team are teams that are higher on Smith-Marsett than others in this draft. Could potentially go on day 2. And here he does at the end here of day 2. Again, this guy's a deep threat. Maybe mirrors a little bit of what Marquez Valdes-Scantling does, but I think he's got a better catch radius, better hands. He has gadget value. This is something LaFleur's offense desperately needs, but you get more of an all-encompassing player here. You can have him in the slot. You can have him on the boundary to win vertically. And you have his ability as a gadget role. Good run after catch ability, has that play speed that is dangerous in space. I think he's got great field vision after the catch as well. And you see him manipulate defenders, good double moves when working vertically. He's just a really complete vertical threat. That would be a great addition to this offense. All right, time for the trade up here. From what I saw at center, I think the Packers want to make a move at center in this draft class. If you missed the video where I talk about this, I'll put that up there as well. But I think the Packers are going to shy away from these top centers and kind of look at the ones who fit better in a wide zone, outside zone scheme. Here, didn't waste any time, moving 135 and 142 and a 5th rounder in 2022 to move up to pick 100 here to select Drew Dalman, becoming one of my favorites in this class at the center position. Obviously, the Packers O-line still has holes. We don't know what they're going to do. Could Jenkins potentially be the center? Maybe. Or do they move him out of tackle while Bakhtiari is still healing? I think they want to potentially have that flexibility with Jenkins, so bring in a center at least to challenge Jake Hansen off the bat. This guy's a perfect wide zone, outside zone center. He's got balance, he's got smarts, he's got the awareness and pass protection that you want. Again, a stout player at the point of attack, but he's great in short areas, great short area quickness, fires off the snap. He's got great movement skills. He's a perfect fit in this offense, and I think he can do a really good job in his rookie season to replace Corey Linsley. Obviously, it will be tough. He doesn't come without his issues. Guy who doesn't really, he lacks a little bit of balance and pass protection against blitzers who are coming full steam ahead. Gets a little off balance there, gets bowled over, but ultimately a sound football player who could contribute day one. So now, obviously, after all these trades, Packers don't have a pick for a while after that move up, but at 173 get Milton Williams, defensive tackle out of Louisiana Tech, who's been moving up draft boards recently because of how he tested at his pro day. Really good athlete who I think could potentially move around on this defensive line, maybe from 3 tech to 5 tech. Primarily has the juice to be a pass rusher at the start of his career, be more in the rotation type of deal, but he stays low. He has good pad level, athletic and agile, and like I said, multiple alignments, and maybe could develop into a starter. But you're getting that immediate rotational pass rush value from him. Maybe rotate him in with Kingsley Keke back and forth, and maybe the Packers will bring back Snacks Harrison to fill out that room. But Milton Williams has a lot of upside this late in the draft. And yes, here we go, double dip at corner, Thomas Graham. There is just too much smoke around the Green Bay Packers and the Oregon Ducks for them not to select one in this draft. So I think Graham becomes the selection here for the Packers. Again, good mirror match ability. Could potentially play on the perimeter if they wanted him to. I think he fits really well at the nickel, though, for this team. Fluid hips, feisty at the catch point and at the line of scrimmage. Pretty solid transitionally. And like I said, great nickel potential. I think this could be the guy that the Packers ultimately place at the nickel spot. Maybe he overtakes Chandon Sullivan in camp. But I think Graham is a really sound football player as well. And I think he's got great technique. He should have no problem with this transition inside. All right, pick 214, Chris Evans. I don't think this running back room is full yet. Obviously, Jones and Dillon, great 1-2 punch, but they're going to want a third guy in that room who can make an impact. Chris Evans has that potential. Still, he's a great athlete who I think a lot of people were expecting to be this elite running back at Michigan. Didn't turn out that way. But again, he's got good burst. He's strong between the tackles, and he has receiving ability, so he can come in and potentially fill that Jamal Williams type of role and potentially get snaps as a rookie in what's probably a little more crowded running back room with two really good players at the top. But again, with as much as LaFleur wants to run the football, Evans makes perfect sense. They're going to get a third running back. Maybe it's as a priority free agent, but they're going to come away with one in this draft process. I know he was in here last time. I understand you don't want the same players over and over, but Justin Hilliard to the Packers makes so much sense. Again, he's an athletic Will Mike type player, going to contribute on special teams from day one. Maybe becomes a special teams captain in year 2. Again, he's got good range and coverage. I think he's got good range working sideline to sideline as well. Just underutilized because of how deep that Ohio State linebacker room was. So I expect him to come in and make an impact. Again, he's a sub-package player who could potentially eventually be a starter. But again, you're going to get that special teams value there this late in the draft. If he lasts this long, incredible value. And finishing it up, still got to help out this offensive line. Obviously, people love Tevin Jenkins. I love Tevin Jenkins. Could potentially not work out. But either way, you get a guy like Brendan James from Nebraska who could be a diamond in the rough on day 3 of this draft. I think he's got great technique, great footwork, mirrors pass rushers well. He has tackle and guard versatility. He obviously played tackle a lot at Nebraska. Could even slide into guard. So you have another versatile guy in this offensive line room who can play multiple positions, fill a hole when necessary. Maybe he challenges John Runyon for a starting position at guard. You know, a line that has eventually Bakhtiari, Jenkins, Dalman, James, or Runyon, and maybe Devin Jenkins out at right tackle with Billy Turner potentially playing guard in there as well. That's a full room. And obviously, you know, Hansen, Stepaniak, guys like that, obviously going to get a chance. But I still think coming away with 3 offensive linemen in a deep class makes a ton of sense. James is incredible value this late. So I hope you enjoyed this mock draft. This was a lot of fun to put together. I enjoy doing these. Obviously, you don't want to flood people with them because, you know, it's a little oversaturated, but it's good to see what the Packers might do, you know, come the end of April. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Maybe if you did, drop a like, maybe drop a subscribe if you're new. Still got a lot more Packers stuff coming out here for the draft. more draft profiles as well. So just be tuned for that. Excited for that. I hope to see you guys very soon. Farewell.